is short. I'm aware of this. Thank you. There's no need to rub it in my face. It's been done enough already. So I want to say hello, and I want to apologize on the facility's behalf because I actually called ahead of time, and I know you're all thinking to yourselves, damn, he's really sexy. There should be some kind of hole in the background or something so we can do some kind of dance or something, you know what I mean? But unfortunately, I called them yesterday. I was like, yo, Jerry's coming into town, and we need to have this porn back of us. And they said, don't worry, we got you. And as you can see clearly, they don't got me. So, again, that's not my fault. It's the facility. So, once more, we'll just apologize on the facility's behalf. Alright, so this is usually the part where, we would do all the obligatory introductions and I would ask how everyone is doing, but if we're being honest with ourselves here, half of you are already so drunk you probably don't know what the fuck I'm saying anyway. So, I don't think it's going to be an issue. I can tell that whatever I say at this point is probably going to be gold. For all you guys know, I can stand here and just stare at you. Just go around the room with my eyes. Maybe point out Christina over there and say her name. Over and over again. Alright, so let's go right to the chase here. Who is familiar with 50 Shades of Grey? Okay. You're not missing anything, I swear to God, you're not. Can somebody please explain that book's appeal to me? The entire trilogy, I had to read all 3 of them because I'm in the process of writing a parody right now. And that was just the biggest waste of time. That's like, what was it? 3 books, roughly 1,000 to 1,100 pages. Complete shit. Anyway. But yeah, that's time in my life that I'm basically not getting back. And there's a few things that, what? I had to read all 3 for a parody. I know you're drunk, but wake up. So I had to read all 3, big waste of time, and there are a few things that irritated me about it. Number 1, it was very poorly written. Very, very poorly written. The structure was completely awful. As an author myself, I can't understand what everybody else was thinking. It became very repetitive after about halfway through the book, and there is little to no character development, like, at all. If anyone has read those books, you know exactly what I'm talking about. No character development at all. And let me repeat this once again. There is absolutely none, no character development at all. Not how you write a story. So clearly this woman didn't, major in English or anything, which is probably better for schools everywhere. But, okay, so as I was reading this thing, I felt absolutely disgusting. I felt like I had to scrub myself every 15 minutes. I was like, how is this supposed to work? Am I supposed to have a washcloth in one hand and the book in another? Like, is that, if it's a whole subliminal message about proper hygiene, the author did an absolutely fantastic job. So we need to give her a round of applause for that. Because clearly, if you've smelled some of the people that live in this particular area, you know hygiene is a big issue. And, all right. So here's the gripes I have about it. Halfway through the second book, as I was reading it, every scene becomes very repetitive. It was just a big excuse to go into detail and live out the author's wildest fantasies on paper, because clearly she's not getting what she needs in the bedroom. So it started out as Twilight fan fiction, whatever, and then it became self-published before it actually got anywhere. But the whole time, I'm reading it and I'm like, I didn't even know some of those things were possible. I was like, oh my God, how could you? Why would you? Can you even walk after that? Oh my God, that's just insane. And then a couple girls a few weeks ago that I worked with were actually talking about it. And one of them, I don't want to mention any names, one of them was Diana. So she was explaining it to somebody else who hadn't heard of it before. And she turns to the other person who hadn't heard of it. She says, well, the best way to describe it is it's basically a love story. Really?
Don't talk about my girl like that.
I couldn't help but laugh at that. I didn't even bother cutting in. I'm like, yeah, it's basically a love story if you consider bondage and lust at first sight true love.
Hell yeah!
In that case, that must mean that all the rape victims are really just unfortunate victims of Shakespeare tragedies, right? Yeah, that's what I thought. Love story. My God, what are you people thinking? You should all be ashamed of yourselves. You know exactly what I'm talking about, so let's face it, you all should be ashamed of yourselves. Okay? Okay, so I thought I was in the process of doing that, but thanks. So speaking of love, let's have a horrible non sequitur here. In Southwest Florida, it's very hard to find love, okay? If you don't find very many young and vibrant youths in Florida. And there are so many old people here. I've grown up, I basically grew up here. I came down here with my family when I was roughly 2 years old. And ever since I got old enough to realize exactly where the hell I was, I've wanted to get out of this bitch so badly. So badly. And it's one of that, exactly. And that's one of those things that, like, year after year since I graduated college, I've been plotting and scheming and trying to get the fuck out of here. And clearly, it's not going to happen anytime soon because, as you can see here, I still stand. So, for better or worse, I keep telling myself, you know, next year. And then the year goes by, the new year comes, I tell myself, next year. Another year goes by. It's definitely going to happen next year. Clearly, I need a reality check, people. I don't think it's happening very soon at all. But there are a lot of old people here, like I said, and there's not a whole lot to do in God's waiting room, as many other people before me have dubbed this area. Having grown up here, I kind of felt like I spent my entire life training to retire, basically. Because there's not really a whole lot as a youth that you can do in this area. You have 3 social activities available to you. One of them doesn't even require talking. I'm not talking about that one. That one at least requires moaning. The 3 activities are you can go bowling, you can do mini golf, or you can go to the movies. Okay? That's basically it. And, not to mention, this is the only town I've ever been in. I've lived and traveled to many other places in Florida. This is the only town that your mall, but for reasons beyond my comprehension, a lot of you guys take such great pride in, your mall is the only one I've ever been in that you walk around and 25% of the signs have 4 rent signs in front. The stores, 25% of that bitch is empty? Are you serious? How are you going to take so much pride in that? Usually you go into malls, and here's how it works for those of you who are blissfully unaware. If you live in this area, clearly you are. You walk into a mall, what happens is there's supposed to be a big shopping center at your disposal. There's not one like that here. You walk in, you have the food court, and that's it. That's it. And I used to work there in the food court. Yeah, I used to work there in the food court, so did she, so that sucks for both of us. And they are making those poor bastards pay at least $8 grand a month for rent. I don't even know how that's justified. I don't know how they're still able to be in business because clearly they can't afford to stay in business, which is why so many of the fucking bitches are ghost town. But anyway. But yeah, a lot of seniors here, a lot of them are on the road. Scary. Very, very scary. I understand I will be old one day. Okay? I have no problem with that. What I have a problem with is when you get to a certain age, here's my thing. If you get out of a car and you look like you've been dead for 20 years, or maybe you look like you're very close to being near death, it's a pretty good, you might want to reconsider getting back behind the wheel. Because chances are you don't belong there in the first place. I'm just saying. I might be wrong. I don't know what the rules here are yet. But pretty sure that's a no-go. And how they drive pisses me off because they got these big-ass sunglasses on or whatever. They got their big sunglasses on. They're hunched over the wheel. They're hunched over the wheel and they're looking for the road. Their eyes are squinty. They don't know what the hell's going on. And I passed by an older woman the other day. This is not a joke. I wish it were. This is actually true. Some of the best stuff is real, which makes it sad, but whatever. You go down. I was driving down the road. I think it was 41, and there was this woman who was in the most awkward position I've ever seen. She was like, there's no way it could have been comfortable. Her upper body was like this. And her ass was like all the way in the opposite direction, and it was like some weird ass tilt, almost like she was I guess Benjamin Button in a booster seat. So, and I'm just assuming that there's no way her feet were probably propped up so high. I'm assuming there's no way she could touch the actual pedals to control the car. But these are the women we're letting drive. That's a little scary to me, but whatever. You guys have your own rules. It's Florida. That's backwards. I get that. So, but the thing I don't get is later on that day, I hadn't even gotten back from work yet. I'm still on my way home, and the sky starts getting gray and dark, and it looked like there was the potential for rain. Okay, mind you, just the potential for rain, not rain, just the potential for it. It was thundering, there wasn't even any lightning yet. And all of a sudden, have you noticed when you're driving behind the road and it starts raining, or it looks like there might be rain, that all of a sudden people lose their ability to drive? They start swerving for no apparent reason, and they'll knock into going 80 plus miles an hour. Has anybody considered what the implications of this would be if you cause an accident being that much of a dumbass? What are you supposed to tell the officers and the EMTs when they show up on the scene? Yes, officer, I did intentionally knock over this motherfucker, but it's okay, it was raining. I'm almost positive that that is not going to fly. Alright, so, speaking of bad driving habits, I did that already. I don't know what I'm talking about. Give me a second here. Okay. So, like I said earlier, it's hard to find love, at least for me, in Florida. Okay? I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't go to the club. The club scene is the worst. Especially in Fort Myers. This whole area is like a big epitome. Like if you've ever seen a movie with trailer trash people, you know, and like, if you've ever seen a movie with trailer trash people, and that's basically how a lot of the people that frequent these types of places around here are. Exactly. In fact, for all I know, that could have been a biopic on Florida, but whatever. So you go into a club around here, especially in Fort Myers. You ever been to clubs in downtown Fort Myers? Those people are absolutely insane. The only people that frequent those types of places are the douchebags and the stuck-up divas that never really left high school after they graduated high school. Yes, well, yes, you're going to consider yourself as part of that? Okay. Well, you raised your hand, so... You're saying that I'm a douchebag or a suck-up diva? I could be both. I won't refute that at all. Okay, so you go in there, and those are not people I want to associate myself with. Because I've been in high school for many years, I don't plan on going back, and there's no need for me to try to do anything with that type of mentality. And I've ruled out online dating entirely. Online dating is completely a clusterfuck of a situation. Because of 21st century technology, people, computers can lie to you. People can lie to you. Pictures lie, things are not always what they appear to be. Okay? It's the art of illusion. It's like magic in technology form. And I don't want to be the guy, I figure with my luck, I'd be the guy that'll sign up, okay? And I'll get all these hits, they'll flirt with me, whatever. And I'll probably be the one that ends up going home with the fat guy still living with his mom. So I don't want to end up doing that. That is just, it's wrong. It's not cool, and I try to avoid it as best I can. And I usually find out I'm aggravated when it comes to the dating scene because the women I've dated in the past usually fall into two particular categories. And I don't know if this is the same for all women in this area, but those two particular categories are hot and airheaded or ugly and brilliant. There you go. There's a couple here. I'm sure I can pick them out. Ugly and airheaded or brilliant and ugly, okay? Each of them, don't get me wrong, I love both of those types to death because they each have their advantages, okay? I don't know what you would fall under, princess. I'm not sure what you would fall under, princess. I'm sorry. Not sure what you would. I guess you'd be like a weird-ass hybrid of the two.
What about me, Jerry?
Okay, so... I'm busy right now, but we can take this outside later. Okay, so they each have their advantages, all right? Pretty and airheaded is good for one-night stands only, because those are the type of women that are willing to believe almost anything you say, at all. It doesn't matter what you say to them, okay? Most of the time, they don't even need to have drinks in them. There are a couple here that are examples of that this evening. And they don't even have to have drinks in them, but they're more than willing to come back with you to their place. More than willing. They'll follow you to your place and they'll try out the mattress with you and it's all good and fine. The best part about that is you don't have to call them in the morning, because within 10 minutes later of them being outside the next day, they're more than likely to find a suitor. So that's what's beautiful about that. You get your thing and it's done, and unless you have to buy or any alcohol, it doesn't cost you anything. So the ugly and brilliant types, what's good about them is they're ideal for actual conversations, because they actually have an intellect that you can hold a conversation with, you can talk to them about politics and what's going on. They're not blissfully unaware like most of the blondes are. Alright. So, make no mistake about it, these types of women get horny too. They get horny too, make no mistake about that. And I have no problem giving mama what she needs, no matter what you look like. But that's the type of work that absolutely needs to be done when the sun goes down, if you catch my drift. Everything feels the same in the dark, but it absolutely has to be done in the dark. Absolutely. There's no refuting that. If you are an ugly and brilliant woman, I will only do you in the dark. Okay? All right. Now, on the occasion, at least I'm not lying. There are many guys that will lie about that. I'm not one of them, so it's lucky for you. On the occasion, you will find women that are actually a hybrid of the two, but if she's got everything, she knows it. And make no mistake about it, you're going to work for it, and you're going to pay for it. And even though you've spent all of that money, it's still not going to be guaranteed to end the way you want it to. Which is why when all is said and done, you're usually better off consulting a professional, because then at least they come right to the chase, and you know, hey, it's going to end exactly how we both want. We're both going to benefit from this type of relationship here. Alright? So, but like I said, on the occasion, don't get me wrong, I haven't ruled out dating altogether. On the occasion, I will go out, I'll still try to pick up women. It's not always worth my time. Once in a while, if I have an itch, that's about it. And, yeah. So I do that on the occasion, and I always find myself thinking, you know, I try so hard not to repulse women, but sometimes it's kind of hard. I try so hard not to repulse women, sometimes it's kind of hard. Like, I'm not really muscular, I'm not really, like, I'm in the process of working out, but it's not like Black Areas over there. It's not like Black Areas over there. And, so I can't help but think to myself, 20 or 30 years down the road, though, what any of these women that are my age are going to look like. And most of the time, that enough, the future, glimpse in the future is enough to make me stop, because let's be honest with each other. And 20 to 30 years down the line, what you end up with is mostly what you see around you. So, that's my time. You guys have been great.